Hey guys, Louie Herron, Sales to CEO. This is Sales to Sales Manager. Listen, we're talking about the needs assessment. Now, if you've been keeping track of anything that I put together, right, we're going to bounce all over the place from different pieces of the sale. But one thing that holds true that I really believe, listen to me, if you're going to go from a sales person to a sales manager, or you're going to accelerate at a high level in sales, you've got to be an expert in every segment of the game, right? Look, I look at this like football. The goal is we're trying to move this thing down the field, right? We got 4 downs. We got 4 downs to get 10 yards. We're trying to advance the ball down the field all the way through the process. I want you to think about that. All we're trying to do is get the ball, try to get in the field goal range, right? Boom, get in field goal range, man. We're trying to get into the end zone, right? Scoring is getting a touchdown is getting a car deal. We got to advance the ball down the field. How do we do that? Psychology is such a huge piece. So I want you to pay attention to the words that I use, because I want you to remember something. Words create pictures. Pictures create emotions, and energy and action always follows thought. So it's your responsibility to understand the words you choose, the tonality, the body language, how you deliver it is critical, right? The first 2 steps, meet and greet, needs assessment. These are like, I know everyone takes these for granted, but they're critical and they're majorly important. So I want to go over the needs assessment on how I believe you should do it and really accelerate making sure you're on the right car. Now, with the needs assessment, I could go on and on. We're not going to go on and on in this video. I'm going to get to the nuts and bolts of it, but remember, the needs assessment is probably one of the most critical parts of the deal, because if you're on the wrong car, you make no money, number one. Number two, you're probably going to make no deal if you're on the wrong car. So if you're the salesperson that meets and greets and wanders the lot, okay, that'd be just like a RE/MAX salesperson. Somebody walks into the RE/MAX office and they say, hey, listen, here's the deal. I'm looking for a house. I need a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, ranch-style house. The realtor says, hey, no problem. Let me grab my keys. Let's jump in the car and let's go look at some of these houses. It don't work that way, right? What do? They sit down, they go through a needs assessment. They talk about the qualifications, the approval process, where they're at, what are the hot buttons, what are the most important things. Then what do? They look up in the MLS and they identify 4 or 5 houses. They don't identify 37. They give them 3 or 4 choices. This is what we're doing in the needs assessment, right? We're finding out what the hot buttons are, and we're making sure that we're delivering on the customer's expectation of what they want. And if we have to veer because of credit, because of scenario, because of negative equity, we've got to be in position to do that. It's almost like you're an attorney, right? The jury's watching, you're the attorney, you're asking all the questions for one main reason. When you get to the close, you got to be able to look at the consumer and say, Mr. Johnson, did you or did you not say in the needs assessment, this is what you needed, and here's where we're at, right? You've got to have these questions that are already, you've got to be thinking of the close way in the needs assessment. You've got to be that good, right? So if you're going to go from sales to sales manager, you've got to be an expert, and we're talking needs assessment. So first thing we do, we transition from outside. What did I say in the last video? Mr. Johnson, based on what you've shared with me, seems like I got some phenomenal options. Let me recap what I've heard. I relay back to them, fantastic. I got some awesome, incredible options. Follow me. We're back inside the dealership. Immediately, we gain control. Gain positive control, not manipulative control, positive control. Mr. Customer, have a seat right here. Can I get you a cup of coffee, something cold to drink? Great. Have a seat, grab our needs assessment form, we sit down. Now you're gonna wanna write this down because you're not gonna remember it, but I've been saying this since 1997. Hear me out. The first thing I want you to do once you start to fill out that needs assessment form is I want you to ask the question. This is what's really a statement. It's the $1 million statement, and understand the psychology, right? I'm gonna say to the consumer, I'm gonna say, Mr. Johnson, so I don't make the same mistakes that a lot of salespeople and car dealers make. Would you do me a favor? Would you share with me how you'd like to purchase your next vehicle so I can better serve you? That's the statement. Now, here's what's going to happen. Done it a million times. Here's what's going to happen. The customer's either going to immediately start talking, or more than likely they're going to say, what did you say? They're not going to even understand what you just asked them, which gives you the option to elaborate and say, Mr. Johnson, here's what I'm saying. You've been in car dealerships before. You know how it goes. Back and forth, 4 hours at a dealership. What am I doing? I'm hitting pain points, right? All the things they probably want to say to me, right? To avoid all of that. To not make sure, like some dealers want to put you in their car where they want you to be, where you almost have no say on what's important to you. We don't do business that way, and I don't. So I don't make those mistakes. Would you please do me a favor, share with me so I can serve you? Psychology, every one of those words are power, right? You can say it 8 different ways. That's the way I need you to say it to get the impact. Now the customer will start to relay the hot buttons, what's important. The reason why I ask that question is if I'm sitting with a needs assessment form, a customer didn't come in here to fill out no form. So if I'm in there and I'm interrogating, okay, you want 2-door, you want 4-door, your address, your name, they're 3 minutes in going, dude, I want to look at a car, man. I didn't come in here to fill a form out, right? So when I ask that question, I'm creating conversation. As they're talking, what am I doing? I'm writing. I'm right. I'm filling out that whole needs assessment form to when I'm done speaking, I've got 3/4 of it complete. I ask a few questions and I'm done with my needs assessment. We create good, positive conversation. And who am I? I'm the expert. I'm the expert, right? So very, very important in the needs assessment to understand, not interrogation, we want communication. Secondly, make sure the needs assessment, do not go to the sales desk with that thing half-ass filled out. Fill it out completely. Fill out the needs assessment form. If it's got a blank, fill it out. If there's a credit app, any blank, fill it out. Do not go in there and do something half-hearted. Fill everything out completely. Where are we going from the needs assessment? We're going to touch the desk, right? We need to get direction. We want the desk involved. If you're a salesperson in the car industry, I want my manager involved. Don't think you're hey, I've been doing this 5 years, I'm good, I know what I'm doing. Yes, there's power in you knowing, but if you're smart, you get the desk involved, right? They're gonna put someone on the oldest age inventory. They're gonna put somebody based on the situation on maybe a blind spot you didn't see. These are all critical things. So number one, in the needs assessment, we take positive control. We want communication and conversation versus interrogation. We ask the question, or we make the statement to the customer, so I don't make the same mistakes that a lot of people make, a lot of sales guys, a lot of dealerships. Would you please do me a favor, share with me how you would like to buy your next car so what? I can serve you. Mr. Johnson, there are people that sell cars and there are sales guys that help people buy cars. That's what I do. I help people purchase automobiles while other sales guys sell somebody something. It's not how we do business. So as we wind down, I want to make sure you understand. We're going to fill it out completely. We understand about the conversation. Now we got two critical pieces. The early manager intro's got to happen, and we want to grab keys for the trade appraisal. So here's what we do. Let's assume the EMI already happened. All right, we're about to go touch the desk. We're going to look at the customer. We're going to say, again, you probably want to write this down. If you want to get good at this game, if you want to master your craft, you're going to have to practice, drill, rehearse. There's no secret sauce, okay? You can see someone do push-ups or you can do the push-ups. This is part of the push-ups you've got to do. Write this down. You're going to look at the customer and say, Mr. Johnson, we survey a lot of our customers, and here's what we find out. We understand that customers hate a couple of things about buying a car, the whole car buying experience. They don't like being in a dealership 4 or 5 hours, and they don't like to go back and forth to get the best possible price. Would you agree with that? So for those reasons, here's what we like to do. We like to make sure that early in the game, as you and I are getting ready to go drive a car, I'm gonna go look at some cars. I'd love to get your trade. Let me get the keys. I'll get the car appraised. I'll give you a free Carfax and a free appraisal. It doesn't matter whether you do business or not. But while we're driving, they'll be doing that. So when we come back inside and I give you figures you may want to take home with you, figures you may want to think about, figures you may want to research, we'll also have the trade evaluation. Would that be fair enough? Let me have your keys. And you reach your hands out, grab the keys. Okay, now, once we grab the keys, we touch the desk, we drop the keys off the desk, let the desk handle that, okay? So last thing is the early manager intro. If you don't get an EMI early in the deal while you're filling all that out, they don't come to you, when you go to touch the desk, let the desk manager know, I need an EMI. Manager, get your behind up, go talk to my customer, take the price conversation off of me. I said it in the last video, and I'll close and say it again. Here's what we do when it comes to the EMI. The manager's supposed to go over and say, hey, Miss Johnson, how are you? This is Louie. Louie's one of our best guys, been with us now 3 years. He does an incredible job. You're in great hands. By the way, what are you looking at? Oh, Nissan Titan, great choice. I think you're gonna love the way it drives. In fact, when you drive the car, please let me know how you felt about how it drove. And then lastly, it's our store stated policy to make sure that we give every consumer that walks in the front door everything they need to make a well-informed decision. So whether you buy today or not, it's irrelevant. What I do want to do is I want to make sure you get all our best price, our best payment, our best interest rate. So if you need to take that stuff home and shop or research it, we want you to do that. And I'm the guy that does that. Don't beat up Louie. He has no clue. He's going to demonstrate, show you the vehicles. He's great at that, but I handle that. I'm the guy that no one ever sees. I'll come right out to you if I need to. Nice to meet you. All right, and he's out. What have I just done? Take the price off the salesman, let the salesman sell the product, and then inform the customer that we're going to give them figures to get to the write-up. Listen, I got more to talk about. I'm going to cut it short right now. Take those things, take notes, be a student of life, right? Be a student of life, take notes. I want to let you know also too, if you like what you've heard, do me a favor, hit the like button, share it, subscribe to the channel, get all this content. I've got tons of content coming. Again, if you want access to the course, click the link above, free book. Listen, if I can help you anyway, this is Louie Herron with Sales to CEO.